Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. Wednesday witnessed a massive fall in the US benchmark indices or indexes. Both the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 lost over 4%. Gold prices are falling. However, the Bitcoin created a new high of 6,700 in this falling market, raising concerns over whether it could be a bull trap. But we get news like that every single day. Every time that any market goes up, people are like, is it a bull trap? The US benchmark indices lost more than 4% as investors started fleeing even the safest bets, not only in terms of equities, but also commodities such as gold. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell by 4.4%. The S&P 500 fell by 4.4%. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 339 points. Gold prices are down, and silver is also down as well. So, I guess to start the beginning of the video, while the rest of the markets have fallen and dropped and blah, 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 fear, crypto's up. No real explanation at the moment as to why. I don't know if there needs to be an explanation per se, but it's rather that we have seemingly bucked the trend of when other prices fall that our prices also have to fall, which I told you all before doesn't really make a lot of sense. However, yeah, the cryptocurrency market is currently up, and it is very nice to see. On Monday, the 30th of March, Bloomberg reported that technical gauges are signaling potentially positive developments ahead for battered crypto assets. More specifically, the report says that per the GTI Vericonvergence Divergence Indicator, which detects both positive and negative trends, the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index had flashed its first buy signal in over 3 months. BGCI is a benchmark designed to measure the performance of the largest cryptocurrencies traded in US dollars. It is owned and administered by Bloomberg and co-branded with Galaxy Digital Capital Management. Currently, the index is composed of Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Bcash, Litecoin, and EOS. Crystal Queck, Chief Commercial Officer and co-founder at Bolt Global, told Bloomberg, central banks continue to print money and route it through expensive networks of people and banks, further inflating debt. A decentralized currency and exchange like Bitcoin breaks the cycle of money leakages. I see cryptocurrencies emerging stronger after everything has settled. I think in an ideal world, that would be wonderful. I still feel this way, and I know a lot of you do as well. It's going to take a lot to, I don't want to use the word dismantle, but to dismantle the current world economic system as it currently is. A lot of it is very slow. It's very sluggish. It's not meant for everyone. It's meant for those who are privileged enough to actually be within that system. So I think we know that crypto is a better option. And even when it comes to just trading, you can trade 24 hours a day. You can send money 24 hours a day. You can do it without having to rely on a third party. And I think a lot of that will, even though crypto should emerge stronger after all of this is done, we all know that there's still going to be a battle ahead. Don Wiper, Chief Operating Officer at Digital Mint, said Bitcoin is much more valuable than its current price, but it's still a relatively new asset class and technology. In the short term, volatility is still the name of the game. Bitcoin, I don't even have to say my opinion. It is what it is. Bitcoin is undervalued even just because of what it actually is. Like the actual means to be able to send money around the world at any time that you want to anyone on this planet, 7.4 billion people. Bitcoin has worth and value just based off of that. We are getting a lot of news over the last couple of, it's not even 24 hours, it's definitely a couple of days, where the uptick in the amount of people who are growing optimistically bullish on the cryptocurrency market are rapidly increasing. I'm not exactly sure, maybe just a delayed reaction. It's not like anything has officially critically gone wrong over the last couple of weeks to the cryptocurrency networks, more so even just focusing on Bitcoin. But it kind of is what it is. The other one says, XRP headed for meteoric rise to 58 cents in Q4 2020 as it prints familiar bottom. I could show you about a good 9, 10, 11, 12 of these articles, not just for XRP, but for EOS, for Litecoin, Tron. A lot of people are saying, or rather they're comparing current charts with other charts that we've seen for other cryptocurrencies many years ago, and a lot of them are saying they're showing similar patterns. It's this dip, not really wanting to dip too far. People keep trying to get it to dip. When the dip does not happen, there's usually a rise up, and I think this optimism has only been increased as when, what's the word? When other markets fall and crypto does well, air quotes, therefore the energy kind of gets back into our market. But yeah, that's is this one as well? Yeah, kind of same thing. It says Bitcoin makes an April turnaround surging past 6.7 thousand. Is there more to come? A lot of people apparently, I think the price fell yesterday. I think to around 6,200. I don't know the exact numbers. And apparently people were really peeved because people thought it was like a really weird April Fool's joke that the market had fallen down. But then apparently the price went up, and which is also something to note that a lot of other people were saying that apparently so they say, every April Fool's, Bitcoin has actually risen in price. So I guess this year was no different. Yeah. So it's nice to see something good coming out of this, at least. Silver lining, silver lining. Let's see if it continues through the rest of the week, if not the weekend. But I mean, long term, all of this right now is just for me an accumulation period. It's about buying any dip that there is. This is not financial advice. It's just more how I live my life. I think people understand and know how valuable Bitcoin is. But of course, you undervalue things so that you can buy more of it and then kind of turn around and say, oh yeah, it's really valuable now, and always has been. Anyway, that's the price action news for today. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, the crypto market is recovering from the price drop earlier this month, yet the number of Bitcoin transactions continues to decline. This data anomaly reflects changes underway in how the flagship cryptocurrency is being used. It may reflect a greater trend moving forward. Daily transaction activity began to grow steadily at the beginning of this year. I'll even show you that chart. It looks insane, which coincided with the Bitcoin's price increase. Trading and mining both picked up, which added to this number. The transaction count took an abrupt turn earlier this month. However, as the price collapsed and the global economy fell into a tailspin, here it is right here. Look how insane this is. This is the beginning of the year. There was a huge pop-up and a bit of a long trickle down. Earlier this year, the total daily transactions eclipsed 350,000 several times. Now it is around 275,000 per day, which still is not terrible. To have a network that other people have belittled or said they don't like or that has no value, air quotes, that still is doing 275,000 transactions per day is still incredible, but there has been a drop in network activity. A number of factors have contributed to this decline. Lower prices have led to less mining activity, as evidenced by a notable drop in network hash power over the past few days. Most notably, Bitcoin owners have pulled thousands of coins off of exchanges, causing trade activity to decrease. This is the third time that we've been talking about this. This keeps appearing in many different articles because it's very fascinating that there was, which is also really weird, because the next thing is also, the word isn't counteractive or counterintuitive. It kind of goes the complete opposite way from exactly what we're talking about right now. There's a huge movement, and I'm not, it's odd because, like I said, it's going both ways. People are taking tons of crypto off of exchanges, but at the same exact time, people are more into crypto than they were before, which I know is going to be confusing as heck to a lot of people. The key takeaway from these moves is that Bitcoin investors are now more interested in keeping their funds safe in personal wallets than on exchanges. Cold storage means less network activity, which can be seen in the data Backing up this notion is the fact that the number of Bitcoin wallets continues to grow steadily, as does address diversity, which we also spoke about. A lot of people have been buying ledgers. A lot of people have been making sure that they take their cryptocurrency off of exchanges. I think for me personally, I think it's very important. Even if we do get to a point, I'll put it to you this way. Even if Bitcoin just only ends up hitting 100,000 over the next couple of years, do you really feel safe with having $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or of anything on a cryptocurrency exchange? The answer is probably no, and this is why I have instructed many other friends as well just to buy a ledger or two, hide them somewhere, put them somewhere safe, wrap them in whatever you need to wrap them in for safekeeping, and just keep them somewhere. Because if you are in this for the long term, just remember, a lot of these cryptocurrency exchanges now have banking charters. If a bank, so they're essentially digital banks. If your normal bank has an issue with you transferring or moving around or using 100,000 of your own money, I will tell you that's exactly how things work. I told you all that before. I tried transferring money to buy property, and I always get that. What are you using this money for? Are you sure you want to take this money out of your account? Because it's in the bank right now, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to buy something. Yeah, but it really happens, and I'm sure other people can attest to this as well. It's actually kind of frustrating. I even got a call from a woman one time asking me why I was sending money overseas, and I was like, I'm buying property. She goes, oh wow, that sounds cool. Have you thought about getting a mortgage so that you pay less and that more money stays in the bank? It's nonsense. So just be aware that we are probably very soon, we're already half there, going to enter a future where it's going to be more difficult to be able to get your cryptocurrency off of exchanges. A lot of them are kind of easy right now because transferring 6,000, while a lot to some, is not a lot in the big scheme of things. But if you're trying to take off 100,000, you'd better believe wherever you live, whatever country, state, province, municipality, kingdom you're in, they are going to want to know where that money is moving and why you are moving it. So it's nice to see that there's like an uptick in common sense, if I can kind of say that. But yeah, the network activity has gone down. It's still a lot for what it is. And also a lot of people have been, of course, unplugging their mining computers, as Bitcoin has to be worth enough for you to mine. And also there's still that fear. I'm putting in this excess energy to be able to mine Bitcoin, and then the price goes down and I'm mining at a loss. So therefore cut my losses now, unplug it. So should we see a pop up in price, then a lot of the computers will be plugged back in. And to go with the other side of what we were just talking about, which is kind of weird, but anyway, let's go for it. Next up, the leading U.S. crypto exchange Coinbase says it witnessed a tidal wave of deposits in the 48 hours following Bitcoin's crash just a couple of weeks ago. The exchange says 1.3 billion with a B dollars in cash and crypto deposits flowed into the exchange in that time period, which is 5 times the average. In addition, Coinbase recorded a 2x increase in new user signups, a 3x increase in trading users, and a 6x increase in total trading volume. Wow. But beyond just a rush, 2 things are clear. Customers of our retail brokerage were buying during the drop, and Bitcoin was the clear favorite. Our customers typically buy 60% more than they sell, but during the crash, this jumped to 67%, taking advantage of market throws and representing strong demand for crypto assets even during extreme volatility. We all went over this. We spoke about this many times. If you bought that dip, you get an actual thumbs up. I'm giving you a thumbs up. I don't know if you can see that. You can't. The point being, there's a lot of people who got to manage to buy. I bought, it was around 4 something. I don't remember the exact number. I wish I had bought a little further on the dip. Meanwhile, peer-to-peer Bitcoin exchange Paxful saw the number of new signups double in March. London-based crypto exchange Luno revealed a 50% surge in new users in the last 30 days. Bitfinex and OKEX also reported notable growth in new users this month, which was reported by Decrypt. In addition, Kraken saw an 83% surge in signups and a 300% uptick in the number of users going through its KYC process. It's weird because when you normally get this much energy and these many people behind all of this, I guess it does make sense why the price bounced back. But you would assume that the prices would have recovered a bit more. This is a lot of people. 1.3 billion in cash and crypto deposits just going into one exchange is absolutely obscene. I guess time will tell. It's nice to hear that there are, of course, new people within the cryptocurrency space. We also had news before that there were the number of addresses that hold more than one complete Bitcoin is also rising more and more every single day. As I assume, or can only hope, that people are trying to accumulate during this period, because once again, negative times do not last forever. Eventually things will get better, and I hope your wallets get better as everyone else's wallets are also getting better, if that makes any sense. Next up, Bitmain co-founder Jihan Wu says the bull run for Bitcoin prices may not come immediately after the halving event in May. Wu, who co-founded and served as CEO of mining rig manufacturer giant Bitmain before stepping down last year, told 8BTC the price run for Bitcoin will likely be delayed following the halving. Wu said he was positive about the future of Bitcoin and explained that recent economic policies such as government quantitative easing packages could lead to crypto assets becoming more valuable. Despite the potential, Wu cautioned that Bitcoin has a price top like any other asset and would undergo periods of fluctuation growth. He said as Bitcoin's market cap grows, volatility decreases and price more stable. This means we may not be able to see abrupt spikes in its price. No matter how high Bitcoin goes, one day it will reach a top. Before that, it will see prices with flatline growth with some twists in the next few years. Yeah, that goes to kind of everyone. This is why sometimes when we get the quoted prices of where Bitcoin could go, everything has a max price. And one of the things that we have experienced, and even now, is that as more people get into the market, and even I guess as more stable coins enter the market and more people are trading into stable coins, drops aren't as dramatic as they used to be, but neither are going ups. And eventually, when we do one day hit $250,000, if not a $500,000, if not $1 million Bitcoin, a lot of these fluctuations will be almost gone. We will see increases and decreases per month of maybe 1 to 2%. A lot of this that we see now will not be there. He said, I think the bull this time around may not come immediately after the halving. There likely will be a delay in time. I think logically we could all assume with everything going on. I mean, listen, logic doesn't really, there's no real logic in the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin should probably be over 15, if not 20,000 at this point, just based off of the amount of people within the space. But we know that logic no here. So I assume it will take time after the halving. If you had told, rather, if none of the last 2-3 months world events had taken place, I think not only would we be higher in price, but I think we'd also be hearing a lot more stories about the halving effect. It may still happen. We still have, 4.5, 5, 6 weeks left to see exactly how this is going to unfold as far as Bitcoin's halving. But it's not about the immediate effect of, oh, I'm rich. It's more like as long as the current demand remains the same and the halving occurs, there will be half as much being distributed for the same amount of demand, which will then mathematically cause a rise in price. Oh yeah, that's the halving news, if you will, for today. And to finish things off in one of the U.S. District Judge P. Kevin Castell on the 1st of April replied to an inquiry filed by Telegram, which said that the encrypted messaging platform will not distribute the tokens to participants in the 2018 ICO outside of the United States. Telegram was scheduled. Who keeps writing the in front of these things? Telegram was scheduled to issue its Gram token to ICO participants back in October 2019, but the US SEC filed a lawsuit against the company, I think the day they were going to distribute it. How convenient. The Ton blockchain community has said that they could carry out the launch despite the New York court's ruling. Telegram representative Fedor Skuratov said that no one can prevent the launch of Ton by any other entity, person, or community because Ton is a decentralized open source solution. The New York court noted that Telegram failed to distribute or demonstrate how the safeguards would comprise lawful modifications to its 2018 Gram purchase agreement. The court remains unconvinced by the company's claims that it could implement safeguards to prevent US-based investors from being able to access its Gram tokens. The US SEC has filed a lawsuit claiming that Telegram indulged in an unlawful ICO. I mean, it just doesn't get any crazier every single day. Like, it's just absolute madness. So for those of you, I chose one of the smaller articles because a lot of them are absolutely insane. What happened was, remember a couple of days ago, for the months ago, people from Telegram would stop by the SEC to be able to distribute Ton, their tokens, to launch the entire Ton network. A couple of weeks ago, we had a couple of people who were like, yeah, it's open source, so we're definitely going to launch it ourselves. Apparently, not only did all of this happen, everything that I just told you, apparently there was also, in the same exact court, I think the court told the community kind of outright, like, no, you can't launch this without us giving you the go-ahead. But we all know that's not how decentralized things work. And this is why I hope that the future is very decentralized, because yeah, it's kind of fascinating. So the judge said no. Apparently, they're still going to try and go ahead with it. So now what the SEC and the court is trying to do is trying to get them or stop them from distributing the tokens to investors within the United States. The other problem is the New York court has also ruled and told the developers and the community that they can't also distribute them outside of the United States. Can you imagine? Imagine a court in South Africa or the Philippines or something like that telling you that you couldn't distribute your tokens in other countries where you may be legally able to do so. I think maybe my mind is just warped. I think my mentality has completely changed when I think about the decentralized nature of things, because we know that this is no longer an option. You can tell people, yeah, you can't send money to that country, but we know that they can. We know that blockchains exist, and we know how crypto transactions work. So I thought this was, funny is not even the word. I thought it was interesting that not only are they being told, no, you can't give it to U.S. investors or U.S. people in general, but that you also can't distribute it outside of the U.S. Like what? Like it's all very odd. So I give it a month. I give it a month, maybe less, when we start seeing news that people from the Telegram Open Network, whatever it's called, Ocean Network, whatever is Ton, whatever, Ocean Network, announce that, yeah, we're launching this, that it's going to be distributed, and that everyone who put money into it or in some sort of way is going to get their Ton tokens. But even then, it won't be the fault of the actual people from Telegram, because it's open source. And this is why open source decentralized projects are very important, because freedom. Fascinating, right? Like it's really weird. Like we have moved on, maybe not the entire world, but we have moved on from the world where you can tell someone, no, you can't do that. But they can, because that's part of the decentralized nature of the decentralized blockchain. Really interesting, right? Yeah. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Yasha Harari, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Josh Gorsica, Chongololo, Songololo, Nostromo, Mr. Pickles, John Sarson, the Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Minding, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Nield, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the world, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy, Cole D3D, she's a crypto artist. I think it's a she. Sorry for saying she. I just assumed it was a Nicholas Runner with One Piece, One Love, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Wish III, Vlad the Impaler, Krypton Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Boardy McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support. And thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. I do thank thee. At the moment, the market is up. Tether is down. It's like a sideways up, but we're still up by 5.21%. Just a smidge and some dollars below $6,700 Bitcoin. It would be nice if this continued, obviously, during the rest of the day, but it looks like the market is kind of on a sideways slope. There's no actual information as to why this has happened. It could simply be that a bear on a couple of a whale, I'm thinking of animals, on a couple of exchanges just decided to scoop a lot up, and therefore that was the cause of the price moving up. Yeah. I thought yesterday, for those of you who did not see my April Fool's video, I didn't expect it to make quite as much of a splash as it did. A lot of people got really upset. I think maybe people just didn't look at the calendar. I was trying to make people laugh and, if not, be a bit confused. But the amount of dislikes on that video, yeah, I thought people would appreciate it a bit more, but lo and behold, no. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.